What's going on, everybody? Christian Hernandez here with Sports Video Group. It's been a fun year. We've went on the hard with NBA teams. We went on the gridiron with NFL teams, at the ballpark with MLB teams, and at the rink with NHL teams. And now we're going on the pitch with MLS clubs in the United States and other teams that are from Canada, but they're playing in the United States. We'll get to that in a bit. I'm pleased to have our first guest on this edition. We have Stacey Taggart. She's the director of game presentation for Real Salt Lake. Stacey, how are you doing? And how's the season so far? It's relatively new, but how are the first couple of games?
Our first games have been really fun. We've had more fans in the stands. We've been winning, and everyone's just really excited to be back.
Awesome. It's always good to hear that fans are back. You're at 50%. I know work is being done to ultimately get to 100, which is always a good sign after the year that everyone has been through. So first we'll go to Rio Tinto. What are you guys playing on the video boards, and what's the game atmosphere like on match day?
For us, we haven't really had to change too much up. We've finally introduced tag board to our in-stadium experience, so the fans can post their photos, and we'll feature them on the jumbotron during the game. And so we're trying to get that rolling, get everyone the knowledge that they can do that now. And
Right.
so that's been really fun to get going. And other than that, we're trying to feature all the new players, and we just are trying to give the fans the best time after being gone for so long.
So the unique thing about MLS, I asked you before this interview started about crowd noise. You said you're not doing any because there's how many people? 11,000 or so. What's it like? What does it sound like to actually hear the voices of the fans back in the stands?
It's actually been really fun. Last season, when we came back in August, we had about 5,000 fans in the stands. So we've never had to pump in crowd noise for us. And it seemed really loud with 5,000 after not having anyone for all of the season. And then this year we came back and we're almost at 11, and it's just getting louder and louder every game.
Right. I'm sure you had to kind of get used to it. It's kind of a little bit of a shock. You go from 5,000 and you can hear them, but then when you get an additional 6,000, it's 11,000. You're like, whoa, I'm not used to this. I'm going to get used to it, but we're slowly going back to normal, which is good. One unique thing that you guys are doing this year, you're hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps at Rio Tinto. What is the workflow with working with their staff? And then when it comes to game day and you're doing a team that you are usually not having to worry about because they're usually up in Vancouver. How has that been like for you to kind of adjust and kind of, I guess, balance your roles with Real Salt Lake and then with Vancouver?
Vancouver has been really great. My counterpart, Jeremy Benjamin, he just prepares everything for us. So I don't have to do anything. It's just I show up and call the game, and they aren't allowing fans in the stands. And so we're pumping in crowd noise for them. And so we just have like their generic crowd noise that we play the entire time. And then they have specific chants that I play throughout the game, like every 5 minutes or so, just to add more atmosphere.
Okay.
So that's been actually fun because it's just such a contrast from what we're doing with Real.
Oddly enough, Jeremy will also be on this later. I guess a couple of weeks from now, my colleague Brandon will be speaking with Jeremy about how he's working with you guys. But a little bit more into that. When you're working with Jeremy and their team, do you have a strict deadline on when they need content to make sure that it's up on the board? Are you guys, I'm assuming you're working over something like a Zoom or a video conferencing since they're not in Utah. What's it been like to communicate with a totally new team when they're actually not next to you?
It's actually been completely fine. I think that we've all just been so used to working from home, so it's not been that different.
Okay.
We had a few Zoom calls before their first game because they actually played about 2 weeks before Real had their first game. So we got to actually work out all our kinks with them. And so just since then, it's just we have them send in their stuff about 2 or 3 days before, just to make sure that we can have time to get their stuff loaded while we're loading Real's stuff. And it's been great.
Well, Stacey, last question before I let you go. I know you're a busy woman, but crew members on your team, and if you want to give shout outs to crew members on Jeremy's team, who do you want to give some kudos to this year? Because it's been going off with flying colors, but like any season, even without the pandemic, it's in-venue production is hard. Who do you want to give some recognition to?
Definitely everyone in the control room and the booth with us. We have our announcer, Mike Waldvogel. This is his 17th season.
Wow.
And so that's been really great because the fans actually recognize his voice. So when he can't make a game for some reason, everyone's just like, where's the announcer? Where's the announcer? and he's bilingual. So we're incorporating Spanish PAs back again. So he's been doing awesome. And then our sound guy, Paco Aguilar, I think this is his 12th season. He's been around since Rio Tinto was built, which I think was the end of 2008. He's just like a genius. So he's handling all the crowd noise for Vancouver when I don't understand what's happening. And then we have our director of, well, he directs the Jumbotron. His name's Mike Chidsey. He's with Squack Productions. They're all contractors. And Chidsey has just been like, he does all the work. He's loading all the content, fixing all the cameras, fixing all the problems that keep arising. And so they're all just crushing it this year.
Awesome. Well, Stacey, it was a pleasure meeting you. It was a pleasure talking to you. Best of luck the rest of the way. And hopefully when it's safe enough to do so, I'll fly out to Utah and catch a game and say hello in person.
Yeah, you got to see it in person.
Thanks, Stacey.
Thanks, Christian.